well. Yeah. Right. Oh. Lewis is holding the camera and it's so windy. Not too far from the summit, and the wind has really picked up, but this is a challenge. This is a mountain challenge for 5 mountain days, which hasn't been picked by me, but before I get blown off my feet, let's go back to me in the office and I'll explain a bit more. Woo. Right, see me in the office in a minute or two. Right, back in the office, let me try and explain the situation. So, we have a 5 mountain challenge, and this is something which I've had nothing to do with. So my son Lewis has been working, he's had a year out, he's been working for a year, and he's starting at uni in 5 weeks' time, but he's just quit his job. And why that's significant is his job was basically weekend work, or he was contracted to work at the weekend, and he couldn't get out that much with me, so he's dead keen to get out between finishing his job and starting uni. So we've got 5 weekends to make the most of it. So I've just said to him, you go and choose the mountains you want to go up. Now he's not as obsessed as I am, so it's going to be, well, it's interesting. I've seen the list of mountains that he's chosen, and it's yeah, you'll see from when we do the videos which ones he's chosen. And it's interesting to see the different perspective from somebody who isn't a mountain obsessive like me. And I'll maybe ask him how he chose them. But anyway, I've put them all in the bag here, so I'm going to do a pick and dip to see which one we're going to go up first. So let's see. This is Loch Nagar. So Loch Nagar, yeah, is going to be the first mountain we go up. So let's cut to me tomorrow, hopefully at the start of a walk up Loch Nagar for our first mountain challenge. That's a good choice. That's a very good choice. In fact, there's a reason. I've got a personal reasons why I love Loch Nagar, and I'll probably explain them tomorrow in the video. So let's cut to me tomorrow somewhere on the way up to Loch Nagar. All right, good morning. It's now the next morning, obviously. And on our way to Loch Nagar, we've been going for about half an hour, and there's a few things I'm really concerned about that might stop us getting to the top, but I'll come on to them in a minute. What I want to show you now is we have come across something which we came up last night to see actually, but it's like we're stepping into the, I don't know, to me anyway, into the, I don't know, into a sci-fi novel or a sci-fi movie. It's amazing. Let me show you, I'll spin you around and show you. Wow. Yeah, hopefully you can see me. Look at this. Isn't this fantastic? Who knew there was pyramids in Scotland, eh? So basically, wow. This is a memorial to Prince Albert, who was consort to Queen Victoria. A memorial to him. I think it was built in 1862, or he passed in 1862. I'm not sure. We're not far from Balmoral, which is the royal residence in Scotland, the castle. And this is fantastic. Yeah, it's a stunning stunning monument. Anyway, we actually came up here last night for a wee donder. We didn't realise this was part of the route, and it was actually the weather was a lot worse, but today the weather's it's an improving forecast, but one of the fears I've got is the winds are to be really quite tough. It did say it could in places lift you off your feet in a forecast a few days ago, but let's hope that's not going to be the case today. We'll just assess it as we're going up, and I'll come on to the other anxiety I've got why we might not make it a bit further on. But for now, just to make, it's just going to take a few photos of this. I'll put some footage up from last night as well, because yeah, and some old archive footage and what have you of the pyramid, because it is quite unique in Scotland. Maybe not in Egypt, but certainly in Scotland. What a place! Fantastic. Onwards to the steep frowning glories, eh? Oh, right, gonna have a wee seat here. We've been walking for a wee while through the forest. We're dropping down before getting onto the path, and we're getting our first glimpse of Loch Nagar. which has got a special meaning for me, which I'll explain when we get to the top, if we get to the top. And that leads me on to the second reason why we might not make it to the top. So the route that we're taking is different. I've been up Loch Nagar 2 or 3 times, but I've never come from this direction, so we've done it from the Balmoral side. So we're going to head up this path. It takes us to a bothy, which we might show you around hopefully. And then you can take the state track goes right up to the kind of normal route up it. But the way we're going to head in and maybe head more directly towards the mountain and hopefully show you the magnificent corrie. But I can't find too much information about a route in that direction, so the weather might stop us, and the fact that there's no path might be a bit, depends what the underfoot conditions are like. So there's a few things that might get in our way, but right now the forest is lovely, the sun is now out, it's just the wind which is howling, but it's howling above our heads for the time being. The trees are giving us a wee bit of shelter. It's going to be a good day, but right. Let's get going. I'll bring you back hopefully further up the track near the bothy. Let's go. So we walked a little bit further and eventually found ourselves exiting the forest and out into the exposed moorland. But there was a lovely Land Rover track that took us speedily on towards the bothy. Oh, right, we are nearly... Well, we're at the bothy. I think there's something royal about this, but I'll tell you about that in a minute. If you're wondering why I've got my hood up, it's to stop my hat blowing off and to protect my neck from sunburn. But there's 2 buildings here, you'll see them in just a minute, I'll show you them. Yes, you can see there's a bigger building here on your right behind me. I think that belongs to the king. And this building on the left is the bothy, so let's go and get something to eat actually. We're both quite peckish. We've done nearly 8 kilometres and about 300 metres of ascent, so time for a Scotch egg. And sausage roll for Lewis. Looks like it's clear. So the bothy was empty and we headed in to have a bite to eat out of the wind. It was nice to get some shelter. Alright. Oh, it's quite nice to get out of the wind. So I think this is called Gelder Shiel bothy. And I might be wrong, but I think this is, in addition to the royal connections, I think this has got connections with Aberdeen University, which is quite appropriate because that's where I went and that's where Lewis is going, hence the 5 mountain challenge. But yeah, it's providing a lovely bit of shelter. I think back in the day was used as a base for some of those Aberdeen-based climbers when they went to unlock some of the routes on Loch Nagar, because it's got some magnificent corries and winter routes and climbing routes basically, which hopefully I'll be able to show you if we can get there. As I said, I'm still a bit concerned about the underfoot condition and the wind, because it has been quite blowy. But let's shut up, I'll bring you back further along the track. I'm going to get some food inside me and we'll see, we'll see how we go, see if we can get to the top. Oh, right, that's us. Refreshed, lovely wee bothy. A big shout out to the Mountain Bothies Association. It's a set of volunteers that keep these places running, so big shout out to them. You can go make a donation if you use the bothies at the MBA website. Right, Loch Nagar, here we come. So we left the bothy and started up what was a good track, and this is where the ascent started, but we knew this track wasn't going to last for too long. It's very sandy. Right, we have reached the end of the track, or the nice lovely track, and this is where I'm not sure. I've read a few accounts, not many, that the track kind of disappears here. It does look like there's something going up here, so I'm hoping that there is, but the good news is the vegetation's not that long at the moment. There do look like there's some bits where the heather's long. So we'll plod on and see, but that wind, we're hoping to get in the lee of some of these slopes here, but it's still gusting. So we'll see. Yeah, I'm not sure if we're going to get to the top or not, but apart from that, all is swell. But let's go and see if we can get to the top of one of Lewis's 5 mountains. I really hope we can do it. And I'll also find out from him, he's a bit shy, he doesn't like to go in the camera, but I'll give you the reasons why he chose this one as well. Right, let's go. Right, quick update. Got some good news, and we've got some bad news. So the bad news is, well, the good news is there's a path, or there was a path through the heather. The bad news, it wasn't going where we were wanting it to go. So we've cut across here and it's been pretty rough ground, no path. I kind of expected that. The good news is the way back will have a path because that's what we were on. The next bit of good news is we're now in the lee of the wind. I don't know if you can see the clouds scudding by over that way. So these hills behind us are providing us with some shelter, so that's good news. The bad news is it's roasting. And I could do with a breeze now, so anyway, can't win them all. I'll bring you back hopefully at the corrie and then we can see if we're going to head up the scramble to the top. Again, that's another decisive factor, the route to the summit. Anyway, I'll explain all when we get further on. We were soon back in the wind and we battled on through pathless ground, and we were headed for the loch. I was wanting to show Lewis the lovely cliffs and the magnificence of Loch Nagar, so we headed across there and soon found a bit of shelter behind some rocks. We've come over to Loch Nagar, actually the Loch Nagar, not the mountain Loch Nagar. I think a lot of people will think the dark frowning glories of Loch Nagar is a loch as opposed to a mountain, and the song's amazing. If you listen to the corrie's version, that's my favourite. In fact, it's the only one I know. Anyway, we're in the corrie now and we're away to go and scramble up the... it's an easy scramble, I mean grade a half, and hopefully it's going to be in a wee bit of the shelter of the wind, but the gusts that are coming down are quite ferocious. We have got a wee bit of shelter from the cliffs of Loch Nagar, which are probably its finest feature, and there's another significance of us going up this way, which again I'll tell you at the top, but for now we're going to get some energy up because we've got about 713 metres we're at now, so still about 400 and something metres of ascent straight up there. So let's hope that the wind isn't going to get us. But we'll give it a bash, we'll be safe. If it's too windy we'll turn back, but what a place, what a place. Shall we get going? So we got going and yeah, it didn't take too long for us to reach the ridge, and once again we were back in the winds, as you'll see. Yeah, so it's really windy. We've got a really windy bit. We're going to stop and put the poles away because they're kind of not any use, and it's a wee bit easy scrambling over the rocks. We're directly opposite a col, which I think is causing the wind to whistle over, so hopefully once we're past this bit, it'll maybe we'll get into the shelter a wee bit further up. Lewis has put on my buff and my other hat, not because his head is cold, but because his glasses were getting blown off. I'm okay because I've got my buff on, my hat and my hood, and I've got my glasses on. So it's windy. Let's see we go on. I'll bring you back later on. Alright, okay. It was certainly blowing a hoolie at this point, but we didn't have to travel too far. In fact, closer to those cliffs, and we got a wee bit of shelter, which was quite nice. The cliffs were doing their jobs and keeping the wind from us. Right, wee update. We're further up the ridge, and just as I thought, there was a spell for about 20 minutes where it was really blowing us around, and it was good to get the poles away actually. But we got a wee bit of shelter in amongst the boulders. But now that we've come up a bit, again we're in the lee, there's hardly any wind at all. But when we get up here, I think we're going to be battered by the wind, but it's good that we're not getting any just now. But it's a lovely wee... it's mainly a walk, but every now and again there's some scrambly bits, which is much fun, and the rock's really grippy. It's almost gabbro-like. It's lovely. So yeah, let's see if we can make it. I'm feeling more positive now. Let's keep on going. The wind was coming and going, but it certainly wasn't as ferocious as it had been further down the ridge. As I said, we were getting some shelter from the cliffs. And you could pick your way up numerous different routes and make the scrambling as easy or as hard as you like. But it was just lovely. As I said, it was nice, grippy, dry rock. So yeah, some fun scrambling was had. And on the way up this way, one of the reasons we came this way was the views that we got of Loch Nagar and Loch Nagar, which means little loch of laughter or noise. But I didn't actually know Loch Nagar wasn't the original name of the hill. Apparently it was, I think it was Ben na Creachan or anyway, something that meant hill of the breasts, and it refers to Meikle Pap, which you can see here. And there's a couple of paps, but it changed, the name changed to Loch Nagar, and it was kind of cemented when Queen Victoria started to call it Loch Nagar as well, and it stuck. Anyway, the landscape started to flatten out, and before long we could see the summit. Right, that's us at the top of Loch Nagar, or just off the summit in a wee bit of shelter. It's quite nice, we hadn't met a single soul, and it's quite a busy summit as expected because it's such an amazing mountain. So that's why I'm talking about more quietly. But I was going to tell you why this is a special mountain for me, and it's the first Munro I ever did, first mountain I ever did. And my uni pals brought me up here on a beautiful May day, and we came up from the Loch Mick side, so the normal route, but we dropped down and came up the ridge that me and Lewis have just come up, and that's the first time I've returned. And it was nice easy scrambling, barely a grade 1, but you can make it more interesting as we did in places. So wonderful to reach it. We've done nearly 15 kilometres and total ascent of 1,111, all the ones, which is nice. So yeah, it's wonderful. So we're just chilling here and taking it all in. So it's a special mountain for me, and I had no influence in. Lewis is actually just down here, he's having a snooze, but I had no influence on telling Lewis which mountains to choose. And so Lewis, why did you choose this one?
Just because the pictures.
The pictures. So Lewis's criteria was basically going online and looking at pictures. You don't usually sift through mountain pictures, do you? So it's quite unique, and the mountains that he's picked are quite good. You'll find out what they are in the coming weeks. Certainly it's interesting from my perspective, because I know the ones I would have picked. This might have been one actually. It is a fabulous mountain, but the mountains he's picked are fabulous, but maybe not what I don't know, a Munro bagger would pick. I don't know. Stay tuned and you'll find out. But yeah, this was a wonderful choice. Well done, Lewis. Right, we're going to chill out here and then we'll head back down. We'll bring you back down and bring you back a bit further down. So reaching the summit was only halfway, and we still had about 16 kilometres to go to get back down. And once we'd come off the summit, we were in the wind. There was no shelter, and my God, it was blowing a hoolie. We were both quite tired, so we didn't do too much filming. We just got our heads down and tried to get the kilometres in and head back down. Oh. Right. Haven't done too many bits to camera since the last bit. I can say, but we're back in the forest now, as you can tell. We've got maybe a couple of kilometres to go. We're both absolutely pooped, absolutely knackered. So far it's 25 kilometres and about 1,300 metres of ascent we've done, and we've still got a wee while to go. But anyway, what I was going to say is a quick synopsis. We definitely chose the right route. It was really windy in places, but for most of that ascent up the Scrambling Ridge and the walk in, we were in the lee of those, the hills really, so it was relatively calm. There was enough breeze to cool us down, but we really noticed it when we got up onto the summit and then were dropping off. The winds were blowing us off our feet, so kind of glad we chose that route. What else can I say? Didn't meet anybody apart from at the summit. Haven't met anybody all day, which was just fantastic. So it's lovely. It's a lovely way to go in. You get to see the cliffs and of Loch Nagar. Fantastic place. What can I say? What would I suggest you do? So these tracks here are all fantastic. If you are coming this way, take a biking so you can get right up to the point where the track ends, and then it's a bit of bushwhacking, but that would save you a good few hours. Would definitely recommend that. But it's just wonderful. Nice wee bothy as well if you want to stay over in the bothy. And just a wonderful area. Some hills, some woodland, some pyramids and a royal mountain. But I'm going to end the video here. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned to find out what Lewis's second choice, or next choice, we're not sure what it's going to be yet, of mountain will be, to see which part of Scotland we're going to be going for that challenge. That'll be on next week's video. So stay safe, see you in the next one.